If you're vaccinated, you can do more things more safely, both outdoors as well as indoors. So for those who haven't gotten their vaccination yet, especially if you're younger or think you don't need it, this is another great reason to go get vaccinated now. Yes, the vaccines are about saving your life, but also the lives of the people around you. But they're also about helping you get back to closer to normal in our living, more normal living. Getting together with friends, going to the park for a picnic without needing to mask up. We're back to that place now as long as you get vaccinated. So go get the shot. It's never been easier. And once you're fully vaccinated, you can go without a mask when you're outside and away from big crowds. I want to thank the team at the CDC for everything they're doing to help us lead with science and bring our communities out of this crisis safely and responsibly. And I also want to thank everyone who's gotten the vaccine for doing your patriotic duty and helping us get on the path to Independence Day, which I'll be discussing more in detail next week. In the meantime, I urge all Americans, don't let up now. Keep following the guidance. Go get your vaccination now. It's free and it's convenient. 90% of the American people live within 5 miles of a site where you can get a vaccination. You can do this, and we will do this. Thank you all, and God bless you. And as much as the temptation is to stay outdoors in this beautiful day, I've got more work to do. Thank you all very, very much. Bye-bye.
President, if the risk is so low outdoors, why doesn't it apply to everybody?
Would you have any preconditions before meeting with Vladimir Putin?
One at a time.
If the risk is so low outdoors, why doesn't this new guidance apply to everybody?
Because the science indicates that the most certain way to make sure it doesn't spread if both people have been vaccinated, the people you're with, and you're outside.
And you chose to wear a mask, sir. You chose to wear a mask. You chose to wear a mask as you walked out here. What message were you sending by wearing a mask outside alone?
By watching me take it off and not put it back on till I get inside.
Do you have any preconditions before meeting with Vladimir Putin?
I'll discuss that all another day. Thank you.
What did you ask Vice President Harris to
India
do?
needs AstraZeneca. Will you make it faster for them to get the vaccine? The vaccines we will get soon. India, they're suffering at this moment.
What do you say to the folks in India?
Look, I'm sorry, this last question I'll take, and I'm really going to be in trouble. With regard to India, I spoke at length with Modi, the Prime Minister. We are sending immediately a whole series of help that he needs, including providing for those remdesivir and other drugs that are able to deal with this and prevent, in some cases, but help recovery. Secondly, we are sending the actual mechanical parts that are needed for the machinery they have to build a vaccine, and that's being done as well. We're also I've discussed with him when we'll be able to send actual vaccines to India, which will be my intention to do. The problem is, right now, we have to make sure we have other vaccines like Novavax and others coming on, probably. And I think we'll be in a position to be able to share vaccines as well as know-how with other countries who are in real need. That's the hope and expectation. And I might add, when we were in a bind at the very beginning, India helped us. Thank you.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
You just heard President Biden talking about the change in guidelines from the CDC. Thank you for joining us. I'm Virginia Cha. And those are the changes that will help Americans get toward a certain sense of normalcy. Now, with more people getting vaccinated, the agency now says there are more situations in which they think it is safe to socialize without a mask. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has the details.
During their weekly virtual briefing, the CDC offered new guidelines saying those who are fully vaccinated can now return to some normal activities without having to wear masks.
If you are fully vaccinated and want to attend a small outdoor gathering with people who are vaccinated and unvaccinated, or dine at an outdoor restaurant with friends from multiple households, the science shows if you are vaccinated, you can do so safely unmasked.
The CDC defining fully vaccinated as being 2 weeks out since receiving your second Moderna or Pfizer vaccine, or if it's been 2 weeks since you've received a J&J vaccine.
If you are fully vaccinated, things are much safer for you than those who are not yet fully vaccinated. This guidance will help you, your family, and your neighbors make decisions based on the latest science and allow you to safely get back to things you love to do.
Health officials say about 54% of Americans have now received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and more than a third have been fully vaccinated. To help break down the guidelines, the CDC has posted this list of activities on their website, showing what those who are vaccinated and unvaccinated can safely do without wearing a mask, which includes a lot of outdoor activities such as walking, biking, or running alone or with those in their household. Another change to their guidelines, those who have not been vaccinated can now safely attend small outdoor gatherings with vaccinated family and friends and no longer have to wear a face covering. But health officials say when it comes to large public events like concerts or sporting events, it's still recommended that everyone wears a mask, saying you may be around people who aren't vaccinated and there may not be enough room to practice social distancing. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
It just gets me emotional. So I just don't know why this stuff has to happen.
That is Justice Bolden's college baseball coach talking about the young man who was killed in last week's shooting spree in the gas lamp. The suspected shooter is in court this morning being arraigned on an unrelated charge in El Cajon. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie is joining us live from the courthouse where we are learning more about the alleged shooter's previous record. Hello, Mary.
Yeah, good morning, Virginia. That arraignment on that previous charge, it actually has not started yet. They've had some technical difficulties, but this is a felony warrant dating back to 2018. It's unrelated to the shooting in the gas lamp for which he's expected to be in court next week. But Travis Saraste was, however, on probation for 3 years due to yet another incident. And according to the terms of that probation, he should never have had a firearm. Police say he opened fire on multiple people in San Diego's Gaslamp Quarter Thursday night, in addition to allegedly killing Bolden, who was working a second job as a valet for the Penvery Hotel. Police say he wounded 4 other people before being tackled by witnesses, tased by police, and taken into custody. Again, we're waiting to learn more, though, about this previous felony case. Today, however, I spoke with the victim's former baseball coach at New Mexico Military Institute, where Justice Bolden pitched 2 seasons. He went on to continue a college baseball career after that. And Chris Cook, the coach, said Bolden was a special player, but more importantly, he was a great friend and a leader, embracing the challenge of going to a military school for junior college so that he could rehab an arm injury and then return to pitching. Coach Cook tells me Justice's former teammates are completely broken up about what happened to him. And then he talked about just in general what kind of guy he was.
He was the ultimate team player. I mean, he made people better around him. It's just sad.
He also talked about he was feeling overwhelmed by the outpouring of support from San Diego in general, even down to the San Diego Padres, for example, donating to Justice Bolden's GoFundMe account. Reporting live in El Cajon this morning, Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Mary. Meanwhile, we are hearing from 2 former medics who rushed to help some of the victims.
We put a pressure on his chest. We said, everything is going to be okay. The ambulance is going to be right here. We're here. We're going to help you. You're going to make it. Just breathe with me. Breathe with me.
Devere Banesh and Shai Gino are former soldiers who served in the Israeli army and now live in San Diego, where they work as home remodelers. Just after Banesh finished his DJ set Thursday night, he says they saw the shooting and ran to help a man who'd been struck. That man later reached out to Gino from the hospital.
He texted me this morning that he's okay and he's super grateful and we saved his life.
Part of that text reads, quote, "If it wasn't for you, I don't think I would be alive." Well, 2 years ago today, San Diegans witnessed an attack on one of our communities, a gunman opening fire inside the Chabad of Poway. It was the last day of Passover, a celebration of spring and birth. But by the time that shooting ended, one person was dead, 3 others injured. Investigators quickly called it a hate crime and made an arrest. Lori Gilbert Kay was killed, protecting the rabbi and several of the others who were hurt. It is her selflessness that so many have been trying to hold on to. We have seen signs of hope in the days, weeks, months, and now years later. An outpouring of support during memorials and events designed to bring people together. Many determined to combat racism and hate with compassion and kindness. Ahead of today's anniversary, Poway Mayor Steve Voss spoke to the American Jewish Committee's People of the Pod. He said there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't think about the Chabad of Poway and what happened. He added, quote, "Poway has a history of coming together when we face challenges." Well, a new local proposal to address a national issue, the growing backlog of asylum cases at our southern border. Today, County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer announcing a plan to provide migrants involved in that process with legal representation. Lawson-Remer just wrapped up a news conference outside of an Otay Mesa detention facility. She suggested a program that would provide funding for attorneys to help them with navigating that process. We are still sorting through the details and what Supervisor Lawson-Remer has outlined. We will have some more information for you later this hour.